Well, hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to the channel. The days are getting shorter and cooler, and I am coming into my vibe time of the year. I just love autumn. It is so inspiring and so renewing to me, and I just thrive during this time of the year. Well, as you all know, I have been doing quite a lot of thrifting and antiquing all throughout the summer, and I have amassed quite the stockpile of inventory of not only furniture but also home decor that needs a little help and a little DIYing. Let's head out to my studio and get some of these DIYs going. A lot of you know that I just recently went to the 4-H fair for the auction and for the junk tent. You can always find some amazing bargains there, and this year was no different. I actually found this giant picture frame, which is about 33 inches wide and about 28 inches tall, and I got it for right around $1.50. Not only was this there, but they also had a metal art easel. I have been looking for an art easel for a very long time. If you know anything about them, you know that the wooden ones are the most desirable ones and the most expensive ones. And for my budget, this art easel and this picture frame with a little DIY savvy are going to become two epic pieces of furniture for my home. I am going to get that incredible high-end look on a literal shoestring budget. Like $2.50 for both of these is where we're at right now before I even touch them. I think I want to use that new Terra clay paint that I got in that beautiful plum color from my trip in Maine for this project. I think that's what's going to look really good. So let's get that. Wait, what is that? Hold on a minute here. I realize the paint has separated and needs to be stirred, but this color is not remotely looking like the shade on the outside of the container that I thought I was buying. It's not even getting better as I stir it. What the heck? This is like Barbie. Pink, pretty pink, good enough to drink. Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me right now? This is not the color I wanted. Maybe it'll dry dark. Is that too much to hope for? Real quick, I'm going to get some spackle on these corners. They are a little bit cracked. I also decided to use some decorative trim I had laying around in the studio on the inside of the frame. I think that's going to give it a really distinguished look. And I'm going to add a little more spackle to the outer seams because I don't want you to be able to tell that there is two pieces of wood there. I want it to be seamless and flat. Then I'm going to sand them down flat and flush because I have some wooden appliques that I think would look really good on this frame. I have 4 pieces and 4 corner pieces, and that's going to be the embellishments. And I'm going to apply them using my Titebond wood glue and my nail gun. Against my better judgment, I am still going to attempt to use this paint and see if it dries to the color that it says it is on the outside of the package. I want the base of this to have a little bit of texture to it, so I'm going to use my Fresco by Fusion. That's a texturizing agent. You can add as little or as much as you want to the paint, and depending upon how much you add will depend upon the amount of texture that you're going to get. I think this is enough. I honestly forgot a very important step, but luckily I quickly realized what I was doing. As you can see, I started to apply the paint directly onto this piece without putting primer down, and you can't do that. There's so many colors and so much going on this. You need to have a good foundation to cover that up and to put your new paint on. I'm going to give it a quick spritz with my gray primer and let it dry. While that's drying, I jumped over to the easel. It has this etched design on the front. I've already spray painted it black. I thought you wouldn't be able to see it. I didn't realize it was etched in. I thought I could cover it, and I can't. So I brought it back in, and I am going to put spackle all on the inside of this oval so I can sand it flat and flush because I want to cast some resin pieces and really embellish the center, and I don't want to see that print at all. So I want to get this on, let it dry so I can sand it smooth. I repainted it black and let it dry, and now I'm ready to add my embellishments. I used my 2-part Amazing Casting resin, and I chose this sophisticated cat bust to create. I thought it would look absolutely fabulous, and it's quite appropriate for our household. We have 4 cats, and we love them. So I am attaching that right now with some E6000 glue, and I want to get some tape on there so that this will hold up and seal. I'm also going to create some beading beaded embellishments using the same resin and more molds, and we're going to get that around the outer edge of this, and I think it is really going to give this piece such a sophisticated look. I use Titebond Thick and Quick on this because it will set up pretty fast, but it will need a little setting time, so I put a little tape on here to hold it in place while it does that. While that's setting up, let's go back to the frame. Because I'm using a texturizing additive in my paint, I don't want to brush the paint on. I want to actually dab it on. By dabbing it and stippling it, that's what's going to give you the look of the texture you're going for. You can go heavy, you can go light, it's entirely up to you, but I'm going to get this color all over this, truly against my better judgment. I'm going to push forward and see if it darkens up to the color on the outside. Wish me luck! It's getting worse as it dries. It's actually getting lighter, not darker. This is definitely not going to work. I have some Mana Green left in Fusion. I really do love this dark green that it has, and instead of maybe adding a lighter paint and doing an aging technique that I had planned with glazes and wax, maybe I'll just start off with a nice dark green. I have the texture from the pink paint. Oh, it's pink. The texture from the pink paint that we mixed up using the fresco is going to remain there. So when I add this paint, I'm also not going to brush it on. I'm going to tap it gently all over the piece as well to maintain that texture that I have. I'm going to apply this to that, see what we get.
Oi, with the poodles already.
And I'm hoping this is going to cover without me needing to actually take this out and prime it again, because I don't want to do that. So, fingers crossed. Let's see what we got. Everything's always so complicated. I think I'm gonna write to them and be like, hello, your labels suck. When you're spending your money to buy product, especially since I did really have that in mind for a specific project. I literally bought it to go on a project with some other colors because I thought that deep jewel-toned, plummy tone would look really good. And not Bobby pink, but when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Or at least you cover it up. Right, Mags? We're gonna see which direction this project's taking me now because it's not going the way I planned. Well, that definitely looks better. I think the dark looks very sophisticated and very regal. I love this green. I love to refer to this tone of green as like a Ralph Lauren green. You can't see any pink anywhere. That looks so much better than that putrid Barbie pink crap. Still so mad about that. While the frame was drying, I took the easel back outside. I need to spray the beading with black spray paint. You just want to make sure you get it into all the cracks and crevices. You want a nice even coat. Lighter and more is always better than heavy and few. If you remember that, you'll never have a drip. I'm going to get my coats on here, let it sit and cure, and get it inside so I can do the final step on this beautiful piece. To bring out the beautiful details on this bust and in the beadwork, I wanted to use something that wasn't a rub and buff, that wasn't gold, and I actually happen to have a copper wax by Fusion, and I love the soft detail that it adds to the color black. It really gives it this aged metal look without it being a very sharp aged metal look. I'm going to use a little of my gold gilding wax by Fusion on those embellishments that we added. I'm not sure if it's going to be heavy or light. I'll know as I apply it on there, but I really do want to make them pop off the frame, and I think this is the way to go. Besides, I really love using the Fusion gold gilding wax. It is so buttery smooth. I love the look. I love the color. I love the tone. It's a beautiful gold, really. And I want you to know that I do in fact see those pink spots. And I do go back over the entire piece with a very small detail brush to make sure that in the end there is no pink anywhere. Because I know some of y'all already pointing them out going, girl, you said there was no pink and I see it. Well, you won't. I caught it. Before I can apply my glaze and finish this frame off, I actually need to put a sealer over it. You cannot use glaze or dark waxes over raw paint. If you do, it's just going to muck it up and make it look like mud. You won't be able to move it. It will not look right. It'll really ruin the project. So you need to make sure you seal it really good. I'm just using a polyacrylic spray, going to give it a few coats and let it dry. For the glaze, I am using my go-to Rust-Oleum decorative glaze in the color Java. I am brushing it all over the piece using a chip brush, making sure to get full coverage everywhere. Then I'm going back over it with a cotton rag that I have balled up, and I'm patting the glaze off. What this does is it leaves a pattern, if you will, of aged character all over the frame. It also leaves the glaze in all the crevices and all the details around the frame, making it really pop and look gorgeous. This gives it the illusion that it truly is 100 years old. This is my favorite glaze to use. It is so easy. It has an incredible work time on it, and the results, as you will see, are amazing. Lastly, I'm going to install the art inside the frame. I'm not sure if this print is the right one or not for this frame, but the only way to figure it out is to live with it for a little while. So that's what I'm going to do. Plus, it's going to give me the total visual on the finished project. These two projects came together beautifully, creating this epic piece of art and art display that I could not otherwise afford. Just because you can't afford something doesn't mean you can't DIY it, and this is proof of that. Just look at the transformation these pieces went through. Well, guys, thanks for joining me in these two incredible, epic DIYs as far as I'm concerned. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now would be a good time to consider doing so. I still have so many DIY projects coming your way, and let's not even talk about furniture. You won't believe the things that I got and the places I'm gonna take them. I hope you enjoyed this very budget-friendly DIY transformation, and I will see you guys next time on the flip side. Bye, you fabulous people.